Hi, this is David M. Window here with Super Money. In the video you're about to watch, you're going to hear about an exciting business opportunity that's sure to line your pockets with digital gold. After you're done watching the video, make sure you go to mde.tv/supermoney. There, you'll be able to download the Super Money Creator program. For all you goldies out there, you'll be able to download the Super Money Protocol system and turn that junky old piece of junk Bitcoin mining rig into a Super Money smelting factory. Remember, Super Money is guaranteed to replace crusty old Bitcoins, or as I call them, shitcoins, and it's going to get you rich. You're going to be rich. mde.tv/supermoney. See you there, and enjoy the video. Greetings, sharks. My name is David M. Window, and I am the inventor, founder, and CEO of an exciting, fantastic, world-changing, universe-altering new product that's going to blow you away. I guarantee it. If any of you are paying attention to the news, you no doubt have heard about Bitcoins, which are the new digital currency craze going on right now. It's a file that's on your computer that's basically a token, and people are loving these things. They're buying them up left and right. Now, here's the problem with these Bitcoins. I was an early adopter with Bitcoins. I bought a ton of them when they were worth, next to nothing. And I made myself a tidy sum. Now, Bitcoins are up to about $800, $900, $1,000 in some cases, depending on where you're buying them from. So the room for making profit is no longer there. And the big problem is that, a Bitcoin being $1,000, nobody has the money to invest in that. And how you can't spend these things because they're so GD expensive now. Big problem. Yeah, I'm going to head down to 7-Eleven and pick myself up a bag of donuts with $1,000 Bitcoin. Sounds like they didn't think it over too much. The anonymous creator of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto, who I actually know his identity in real life as I went to school with the man, and I won't reveal his identity. However, he told me in confidence that his whole Bitcoin program was only ever meant to be an experiment. And he has seen my designs for Bitcoin 2.0, and he has said personally to me that he believes in my product, and he owns a few shares. And if you sharks know what's good for you, you might pick some up yourself. So, let's get to the grand unveiling of what this is all about, shall we? I don't mean to tease you too much longer here. And my grand invention is called Super Money. So, besides just the flashy name, what's the Super Money Protocol all about? Well, we take away Bitcoin's major failure point, the distributed network. Right now, Bitcoin works like peer-to-peer file sharing. That's a big-time problem. We all know that the government has been cracking down on peer-to-peer file sharing. If you use the internet, if you have a Comcast, or if you have a service provider that's a big name brand like a Comcast or a Cox or a Google Fiber, and you're downloading things like Harry Potter, big things, you're going to get a notice in the mail saying stop. And it's the same problem going on with Bitcoin. The biggest flaw in Bitcoin, and Satoshi Nakamoto himself has told me this, is the decentralized network. It wasn't meant to be, guys. You didn't think it through. It's the next Napster is what it is. People are calling it a tulip mania. Bitcoin's like a tulip because it's just a flower that has no value. But the big problem that people aren't catching up on is that essentially what we're looking at right now is Napster, the next generation of Napster. So it's like Mark Cuban said when they asked Mark Cuban if he's going to invest in Bitcoin. Mark Cuban said, "No, I'm going to wait for the successor to Bitcoin, the one that comes up after Bitcoin that's even better." Wow! If you had invested in Napster in the early days, your life would be terrible. Okay, you'd probably be a single mother eating out of the garbage if you invested in Napster back in the day. But what came after Napster? Rhapsody Music. It's how I get all my music, and it makes sense. It comes centrally from a server. Traditional pyramid structure. It's the way people understand. You have levels. You have the slaves, you have the middleman, and then you have the cream of the crop. That's the person running the server. So, for laymen who aren't, cryptology experts, here's how super money works. I have a program running on my computer 24/7 generating new super money tokens at a rate of 4 tokens per hour. Now, these tokens, I send them to whoever I want. It doesn't even matter at this point because I can make so many of them. When you get a token, you can pass that on as if it were money in an email file. You attach it to an email. You can attach up to 25 megabytes of super money tokens. A token is about 20 kilobytes right now. A token is about 68 kilobytes in size. That's a lot of tokens that you can attach to one email. So you can send a payment, hypothetically, like 200 tokens. You can send somebody $200 per email. I call them dollars because it's the next generation of money. It's the next dollar 2.0. Super money. So let's do a little lesson here, a little computer science lesson for all you geeks and gizmos out there. So base level, you have the super money user group. That's the everyday Joe Schmo, lemmings who are going to be using these things as money to buy their coffee, go to Dunkin' Donuts, they buy a pack of smokes, what have you. But that's the everyday Joe walking around on the street, with holes in his shoes, kicking dirt, doesn't even have $1 in his pocket. At least he can vote, though. Call this SMUB, Super Money User Base. Next up in our protocol, we have the network administrators. And the network administrators, they are the people who are kind of watching over all the super money tokens in existence and making sure that they're being used for good purposes. One of the big problems with Bitcoin is that it is the currency du jour for terrorists and child porn people, people who have kids locked up in a house and they're making child porn and distributing it. They're accepting payment in Bitcoins primarily. So that's a big problem that we got to get out of the way. And super money, the network administrators are going to make sure that every transaction is signed, verified, and 100% safe. Up next, we have the Goldies. Goldies play a very important role in the super money hierarchy. What a Goldie is essentially is someone who I have sent a copy of the super money program. When you have a copy of the program that I have on my computer, you're able to make your own super money tokens. Now, I'm only going to give this program out to trusted, verified sources. That way, I know that they're not making too many super money tokens. The problem, if I gave the program out to everybody, would be that everybody could make super money tokens. And you could have, a virtually limitless supply of money in your bank. Now, you might not think that's a problem because, hey, money at that point would be growing on trees. However, I've done a few rudimentary calculations and I've seen that having the super money program in the hands of a few Goldies is the way to do it. Finally, at the very top of the super money hierarchy, we have the commander. And the commander is the person who's in charge of the entire super money protocol and network. He can make changes to the way super money operates. He can delineate value and do things such as derivatives and flow charting. And he can basically has control of the super money. That's the structure. That's the way this whole thing is going to work, planned out from the top. And you'll see that it is a traditional pyramid structure. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel here, guys. Money's been around for thousands of years. There's no reason to try to do anything radical with it. And if you do, you're going to get bit in the butt. And there's one more thing I forgot to tell you about Super Money. And this is the most important thing of all. It's going to be accepted at every major online retailer. How do you like them apples? Can you imagine the people milling about, in Bitcoin meetings in New Hampshire? If someone had come in and said, hey, in a few years, there's going to be an online currency that's accepted at every major online retailer. They probably would have crapped themselves running to the Bitcoin sales room to sell those Bitcoins and get a hand on some Super Money. For all you folks out there who missed the boat on Bitcoins and are looking at the price tag and saying to yourself, hey, $1,000 for a little bitty old coin? No, thank you. You are not going to miss the boat on Super Money, because the first 10 investors are going to get a copy of the Super Money Protocol program, and you're going to have access to the Super Money printing press, where you can make as many Super Money tokens as you want. So, sharks, what are you going to buy with all your Super Money tokens? You might want to start planning it out because you're rich now. You're going to buy a new fancy yacht? Maybe an expensive sports car? Maybe get those leather shoes you always wanted. I, for one, probably going to retire in the countryside. Nice little cottage. Have, a few vintage motorcycles and have a craft brew set up. Making my own beer. Finally be able to afford to eat out and not have to go to not have to cook for myself. That's a big thing for me. Think about it. Do you want to be rich? Do you want to be rich? I know you do. So that's why I say fuck Bitcoins, Super Money rules, my nigga. So that's why I say fuck Bitcoins, Super Money rules, nigga. So that's why I say fuck Bitcoins, Super Money rules, nigga. So I say fuck Bitcoins, Super Money rules, nigga. Peace. Thank you, guys.